That belongs in a museum.
He's got 2 of the secrets, the Doomsay and forms of defense, and then Frostbolt Ice Lance. Not really what you want at the moment. Frostbolt's nice to deal with early minions, but just as he said, it's all more about cycle early on, especially when your opponent doesn't come out with a super aggressive start, and you can slow them down with Doomsay, as we can see now. You really want to follow up with cycle.
Yeah, we saw Rusty take a little bit of time before playing this Doomsayer on turn.
Everything that suddenly it's just way easier for the Shaman to kill it off, and BradfordLee's just taking his time here, working out exactly what he wants to do. Is he actually going to kill the Doomsayer?
Really?
To guard a 1-1.
What?
That's 6.
This is
6 damage from hand to guard a 1-1. He could have actually just totemed up because he does play things from below. So he could have just cashed in that totem and just reduced the cost going forward.
That is a serious investment to protect his minions here. It does allow him to develop the Sir Finley.
He's gone for the armor.
Okay, so Bradford looking to take a fairly unusual approach to this matchup. Typically, the Shaman generally just wants to push for as much damage as possible, and they can use the hero power to find things like, or rather the discover of Sir Finley for the hero power to find things like Steady Shot. But Bradford, we didn't really see what options he had, but choosing to just...
He picked this pretty quick.
He did, he really did.
Yeah.
He's choosing to kind of extend the game out here with the armor up, which can make it very difficult for the Freeze Mage to assemble enough damage, because the Freeze Mage needs to not only defend themselves against your damage, but also...
and the damage on the Squire will sort of add up over time because of the Divine Shield, and catch up the damage of the Wolf, I guess.
Well, here, I mean, Bradford is all in. This is his entire hand on the board, and Rusty...
I would have loved to have seen the other hero powers, because he's been so aggressive, whilst taking the Warrior hero power is kind of interesting.
It really is quite the study in opposites, as we see the Frost Nova from Rusty slows down the board a little bit, and he's just going to use his Ice Lances as removal. Rusty now just trying to get to the stage where he can try and win the game as a mage control deck. Given that Bradford has chosen Armor Up as his hero power and has exhausted so many of his resources being so aggressive and clearing off that early Doomsayer, just the 8/8 body of Alexstrasza could very well be enough to just take over this game.
Yeah, and really interesting as well, Rusty actually drew last there when he didn't particularly need the spell power to clear off those minions, so interesting one. He did draw into second Ice Block, so he can extend the game multiple turns and get himself to the Alexstrasza turn. That's almost a given at this point. Second Feral Spirit coming out from Bradford. I imagine he's going to play them with this much mana and only 1 card in hand. Seems good.
Yeah, I mean, Bradford's just he's drawing and playing. That's the point of the game that he's at. And Rusty is at the, I'm going to try and stay alive and kill you with this giant dragon. Mirror Image, an interesting inclusion in Rusty's deck. We actually saw Crane playing this a couple of weeks ago at the Europe Spring Championship. Chooses not to play it this turn, wants to get the max value he can out of his Ice Block plus Alexstrasza combination.
Yeah. Do you even think there's a chance he might be setting up for a turn 10 Alex? So you can Alex and then Mirror Image?
That's possible,
use his second Ice Block, although it never feels great to use your second Ice Block when you're guaranteed it's going to be procced. This Blizzard is huge though.
Wow.
This buys him a turn, so now he can do it. He's putting the Mirror Image down now, so the Ice Block is very unlikely to get procced this turn. He can Alexstrasza and then go from there, and there's actually not a lot of power on the board when all the minions are at 1 health.
Tuskar Totemic, this could be Healing Totem, could be pretty big. Flame Tongue, also a pretty powerful hit there. Frostbolt, though, that is an answer to that Flame Tongue, and now, Rusty, he still has this Ice Block set up. He's just using this time to grind out Bradford's resources, and, just eventually setting up this huge Alexstrasza. Rockbiter does nothing here. I mean, he can break the Ice Block, but... how valuable is that at this point? I
think he has to, though. Yeah. He has to go for it.
It breaks it at 6, though?
Yeah.
We see Bradford actually his head.
So Bradford could have just rock bited himself and broken 3, which is what he realized instantly. And I think because he's been playing just 1 card off the top, he should be playing too fast.
Yeah.
He should just slow down and actually think about what's going on.
And that now, it can actually just be barrier block here, or just block and then barrier after the Alexstrasza.
Yeah. I mean, Rusty can take multiple routes here.
Yeah.
He doesn't particularly need to Ice Barrier, but he is thinking about it because it's an efficient use of his mana, right?
The thing about using the Ice Barrier before or after Alexstrasza, using it after Alexstrasza represents more life gain from Alexstrasza if he chooses to use it in the following turn.
Yeah.
And here, Bradford, he's just plinking away here, not even able to break the block this turn. Now, the Novice Engineer represents removal in one of these minions, and we're going to see the full Alexstrasza from 1 to 15.
And not being able to break the block is huge. And that would have changed if he'd played the rock buyers separately from the minions. So Bradford really getting punished for just playing a little bit too quickly and just not focusing for a split second, and then that's what can happen here as he plays the Trog. Starts to build up his board, but we can see there's already block. There's going to be Nova.
Oh,
never mind, there's going to be Blizzard. Why not?
Oh dear, Blizzard comes down, wipes nearly Bradford's entire board off. Rosti, down to 8 here, but has that ice barrier still in his hand, and of course the ice block still remaining. Bradford's gained a lot of armor here.
Yeah, he can chip away. Arcane Intellect is huge. It means Rosti can draw and start to draw into those really important cards. He does get the Fireball and the Emperor, not the super key cards he needs at the moment, but it's definitely all helps. And now Rosti's going to make a decision on whether he needs to go aggressive or not, and he is. He is not going to run 8 damage into either of these minions. He's just going to go really aggressive, ping off the shield to make sure that if there's a trade into Alexstrasza, the Argent Horse Rider does die. But this is still, I think this is still pretty close. Like even a Doomhammer could change everything here.
Yeah, I mean this is a situation where Rosti recognizes he's in a race against time. He needs to actually win the game before Bradford is able to dig and find his burn spells, because he's just at 6 life. There's Pyroblast.
That's some damage.
Speaking of things that win races against time, I would not be surprised to see Rosti. I don't see any way out of this for BradfordLee.
There's Ice Barrier and Ice Block left. There's nothing, and Bradford really suffering from the Rockbiter misplay early on and the lack of Doomhammer, as that's one of the key cards in this matchup overall.
Yeah, Bradford took a very unusual line to this, played like kind of a super aggressive style early, and, along with the defensive style of the armor up pick, and he hasn't been able to keep himself alive against this dragon. And he hasn't been able to actually finish the game through the secrets from the Freeze Mage, so not really working out. And Rosti, he has the Pyroblast.
Yeah, I mean, he can just Pyroblast now, and that's going to be the game as Rosti takes the Freeze Mage versus the Aggro Shaman. He is the last player of the day to go through to top 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, so definitely very well played by Rosti there. Certainly a deserving competitor moving on.